Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a walk around on a project that I'm working on. This is indeed RedRiddler with a mystery clone GX200 with a torque converter swap. This is a 100 series mini bike. It would have had a 98cc in it now, and with my calculations I have tripled the horsepower than it had before. Now, the reasoning why I did this is cost efficiency. A Predator 196 or 212, any of those clone engines, are a lot cheaper to work on than a 98cc is. I love 98cc engines, and I will continue to work on them and experiment with them. But for something that I need to be reliable and run around town in the neighborhood, a 200cc engine is a lot cheaper to maintain and find parts for. So that's why I went this route. The frame is still stock. Still even have the chain tensioner that's down here. I have an adapter plate, which bolts to the original factory bolts down here. And then this allows the engine to move side to side and forward and back. Then I have a torque converter riser, CVT is what they should be called. Riser right here for like a CT200 UEX. And that's bolted up to the engine. It is flipped around backwards for better clearance. There are some obvious modifications that I've done to the engine. I bought the cheapest carburetor I could find on the Jungle website. It came with everything, from the air filter, carburetor, intake spacer, intake manifold, fuel line. Well, I provided my own fuel line because I didn't like the one that was provided. And the throttle cable, which is what I needed. A lot of this stuff is what I had just laying around. The torque converter was off of Charlie, my CT200 UEX from like 5 years ago that I did a whole build on. It wasn't on this channel, it was on an old channel that I used to have. It's called a CVT, I don't know why people call them torque converters. Centrifugal variable transmission. The only thing new that I had to buy for this whole build was the carburetor. I would like to change the exhaust pipe, because it is really hot right next to my leg. Something that just goes straight down to the side, or I don't know, I would like something kind of cool where like not a straight center exhaust pipe, but probably like off to the side and hangs out over here, but definitely something away from my leg. That would be great. A fuel tank would be a must need. That would be later upgraded. I know this is just zip tied on there for a permanent temporal mount, but it's actually on there pretty nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. That fuel tank is too small for this engine. It was too small for the 98cc's, so it's definitely too small for this engine. If I'm planning on riding this thing for hours, I need a bigger tank. I need at least a gallon tank somewhere on this thing. There's plenty of room right here, but if I put a fuel tank right here, I'll definitely need to run a pump, a vacuum pump of some kind. The only upgrades that I've done to this engine is a cast aluminum flywheel from Amazon. They're about like $35, and a crankshaft swap. I have a 3/4 crankshaft instead of the 5/8. Everything else is stock. It's a stock engine, basically. There will be a time where I'll take this whole thing apart and repaint it, make it look nice. But for right now, I just need it to where it will run and drive and prove that it's good and reliable. I want this thing to be a good cruiser through the park. Like at Portland in the fairgrounds, your top speed's about 10 miles per hour. So I was burning clutches going that slow. So a torque converter would help immensely with that. All you do is, if you're burning something, it's the belt, and the belt's super easy to replace. And it also will give some decent top speed as well. The top speed I'm looking for is probably around 45, 50. It's not going to be any different than it had before with RedRiddler's 98cc engine. My top speed on that engine was about 52 miles per hour. And that was pinned, full throttle, pinned, and that didn't help the engine's health whatsoever. Hopefully, with a big block, even though this is a small block, but it's a lot bigger than the original engine was. It is a big block and such a chassis this small. It's a big engine inside of this little bike. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more mini bike junk content like this. My name's Elijah, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. I'll probably put in some clips of me riding this thing around. Still working on the throttle a little bit. It's got a 115 main jet, and I've moved the slide. I gotta think in my head which direction I went. Made the needle up one more, so that's allowing more fuel to go in from the mid-range. It still has the stock idle jet, so it may need a little bit of a change on that. The throttle doesn't seem to snap back correctly every time. And it might change over time when it's warming up, because when the engine warms up, it runs a little bit faster at idle versus cold. But that's pretty damn good for, I think I paid $32 for that carburetor, and that was a kit. That was not just a carburetor, it came with everything else as well.